Hi, and welcome to Legal Marketing Minutes. I'm Nancy Myrland, your host. If we haven't met, I'm a marketing, business development, content, social, and digital media speaker, trainer, and advisor to lawyers and law firms. Your time is valuable, so let's get started. I just finished reading an article on Law.com's daily report, and Peter Carter, who is Delta's chief legal officer, flipped the table during a panel and made a pitch of his own to about, it said 150 lawyers. And this was at the National Asian Pacific American Bar Association's Southeast Regional Conference in Atlanta. And he was making a plea to lawyers to figure out project-based billing. And his point was that he needs to know that he's going to make his budget every year. And when they get bills that are unpredictable and that when they don't know what's going to be on them, that it doesn't do him any justice. So he's begging for project-based billing. And the other people on the panel, there was Lucy Fato, I might be mispronouncing it, Fato of AIG, also made a similar comment. She said, firms do a disservice to themselves when they send, and this was a quote, eye-popping, end quote, bills that include rates of up to $1,400 per hour. She said they would be well served to examine their rates and bills before sending them out. And this is disturbing to me. The fact that a general counsel from a company, any company, but certainly a company like AIG, is surprised by a rate of $1,400 is disturbing. It's not disturbing that the rate is $1,400 to me. That's not what's disturbing. What's disturbing is the fact that that was a surprise to her, that conversation never took place. Now, I'm assuming that, and I know that's dangerous, but the fact that she said that during a panel tells me that she had no idea that anyone that was going to be doing work for her had a rate of $1,400 per hour. And if you're worried about quoting that rate, and if you're worried about shocking people, wouldn't you rather shock them at the beginning and have them get over it than you would shock them at the end when the bills come, or shock them mid-project or early project when the bill comes and they see $1,400 per hour? So yeah, she's right. Firms do a disservice to themselves when they send eye-popping bills that include those rates, because it shouldn't be a surprise. It really shouldn't be a surprise. And as she said, there are some matters where fixed fees are appropriate because they're low dollar, high volume. And Carter, who I talked about before, who is Delta's chief legal officer, said that the key lies in project-based billing. And you know what? I know this is scary to some lawyers and some law firms, because the question becomes, well, how do I do that? What if I charge too little? What if I charge too much? And my answer to that is, so you charge too little or you charge too much. But you know what? That won't happen very many times before you figure it out. Sometimes you're going to be high, sometimes you're going to be low, but you'll learn a lesson from it. But what's nice is that your client knows. It's predictable to your clients, and there's no surprise when that bill comes. And if you're feeling, if that makes you feel claustrophobic and there's fear involved, and, well, what if I mess up? What if that doesn't represent what we're doing? That's when, and you're intelligent people, that's when your intellect comes in, and project management, and you look at what you've done before. And in the contract, in the agreement, for that matter, before you start, you tell them what that project fee entails. You tell them that it includes this project. As we've discussed, you've asked me to do X, Y, and Z. And for that will be $500,000, whatever, and $2, or whatever it might be. It might be $2,500. And then what you also do is you set out parameters that go outside of that project. This is where you can protect yourselves. This is where you can go through the learning curve with your client and say, just so you know, if we happen to get into these areas, this is what we'll charge for that. And, we might want to go this first go around, we might want to go ahead. And if we go outside of the scope of the project, then it would be my hourly rate of $950 an hour, or our associates' rates of $350 an hour, or whatever it might be. But you can deal with the, scope creep. And if it creeps outside of the project, you can deal with that in an initial contract. And you know what? It's going to take a little practice if you haven't done it so far. But trust me, clients are much happier. But even my clients, when there is a project, when it's able to be defined, then I will definitely quote a project fee. And if it's not, if it's an ongoing project, then I usually give them the choice. And I usually tell them, when somebody asks me what I charge, I'll usually tell them it really depends on what it is we're going to work on. If it's something that has a definite beginning and a definite end, then let's do it as a project fee. And if it's not, if you want to work together on an ongoing basis, we have two choices. The first is hourly, and what I usually say is that is my least favorite because it can be a disincentive to you to pick up the phone or pick up, and that doesn't necessarily mean a phone call, that could mean a text, or send an email and ask me a question. I want you to use me, and I want to be your resource. And what I don't want to have happen, which is what happens with hourly billing, is that some clients can then say, "Oh, I'm not gonna email her with that question because that's gonna cost me money." And I don't ever want to be associated with just pure dollars. That's not my purpose, and that's not your purpose. And then usually I'll tell them, and if it's something you just want to work together on an ongoing basis, then what we might do is have a retainer. And you know what? For what I'm hearing you say, this would be my retainer. And that would include A, B, and C every month. And that would tend to look like this. And what we'll do is that, say in 2-3 months, we'll reevaluate that and we'll take a look at it and see if that's working and if the amount of work that we're discussing today for that retainer is really what's been happening, or if you've needed me more, or if you've needed me less, then I will adjust at that point. So you know what? It's a learning curve. You don't have to be perfect right off the bat. I wasn't perfect right off the bat and I still won't be when I quote project fees. I might go low on something and not understand exactly how much work was going to be involved. But you know what? That's a lesson for me. And it's a lesson for me to then also add what I mentioned a moment ago. You know what? If we go outside the scope of this, then let's talk about what that might look like and what that might cost. Trust me, your clients are going to be so appreciative of your honesty and your willingness to work on their guidelines and within their budget so that there are no surprises. And you know what? I don't care if you charge $2,000 an hour. Go ahead and put your project fee, your alternative fee if you want. An alternative fee isn't even necessarily a great term for it anymore. These are just the fees. These are the project fees. These are the retainers. These are the fees that you charge to do the work that you do to help your clients. So I encourage you to begin to move into this realm, this world, so that you're making your clients happier. And you are helping your clients who have pressure put on them to make budget, to solve problems, to anticipate problems, and to have someone that has their back and that is representing them all the time. Well, that's all for today. Thank you so much for spending a few of your valuable legal marketing minutes with me today. If you'd like to make a comment about this, please feel free to email me at nancy@myrlandmarketing.com, and that's MYRLAND marketing.com. Or please, I encourage you to visit my blog, which is at myrlandmarketing.com. And if you'd like, I have a Facebook group where we deal with marketing content, business development, social and digital media on Facebook. And if you just search, it's called Social Media for Lawyers and Legal Marketers. All right, that's it. Thank you so much. We'll talk to you next time. Bye.